A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away called the Milky Way, on an inhabited planet known as Earth, two breeders decided to join the rebels and create tomato varieties that would go to the light side. They called it the Star Wars Tomato Project. That was the epic beginning of an epic review, in which I will tell you about 4 stunning tomato varieties from the aforementioned project. I liked each of them in their own way, each with their own good qualities. As a legendary Jedi Master Yoda said, "Do or do not. There is no try." And I did. I grew them all at once, because I was very curious to see these varieties with my own eyes and compare them. And today, I will tell you about each of these varieties. Take your seats and your Starfighters. We're taking off. The first Star Wars tomato I got to try was the Rebel Starfighter Prime. It is a tall, indeterminate variety made by Ross Crowe of Fairfax, Vermont, USA. Can easily reach heights of 6 feet 7 inches or 2 meters. The fruits are very unusually shaped, mostly elongated with a tip, and amazingly beautiful. Dark red in color, adorned with flowing green lines with anthocyanin like waves. When I first grew this variety, I rejoiced like a child and literally could not believe my eyes how amazing their fruits look. I still am mesmerized by their outstanding appearance and believe that the future of tomato breeding is behind such strains, breaking all stereotypes that tomatoes must be only red. The variety turned out to be one of the earliest and yielded until late fall. In their first season, the tomatoes weighed only 3 ounces or 85 grams, but this year they weighed between 5 and 6.5 ounces, or from 140 to 185 grams. On the cut is the same smooth dark red color that I want to see in tomatoes. The flavor is still good. The tomatoes are juicy, with a great combination of sweetness and tartness, and a very deep flavor. I'm sure that when Ross saw the result of his work, he could, like in the famous movie, take this tomato in his hands and proudly say, "I am your father." The variety really deserves to be proud of. Much has been said about this tomato, and I'm sure it will be said many more times as more and more people grow and try it for themselves. After all, it certainly is worth it. Since there are never enough Starfighters, I will tell you about one more. Rebel Starfighter VT16, another work of art created by Ross Crowe. As with the previous variety, the slender stamped plant with the strongest vigor easily passes the 6 feet 7 inches or 2 meter mark. Tomatoes are very similar in shape to Rebel Starfighter Prime, but are green when ripe. The fruits are so interesting that it seems that if you attach a tail and wings to them, they can fly like a real Starfighter. The color is just unique, green with blue and yellow streaks, and you will not find two identical fruits. In addition, sometimes growing tomatoes of this color is very convenient. You don't have to treat unexpected guests and just tell them that the tomatoes are still green and not ripe. But of course, I'm kidding. And in the end, it's up to you to decide what to do with the crop. The only issue is that you'll probably have to determine the ripeness by touch. The weight of the fruit was about the same 5 to 6.5 ounces, or from 150 to 180 grams. And of course, I wanted to start tasting it as soon as possible. The flesh is a bright emerald color, reminiscent of a ripe kiwi fruit. It looks delicious. If you like green tomatoes, of course. I certainly enjoyed the taste. Sweet with a nice tartness, somewhat resembling the Rebel Starfighter Prime, but still the flavor is different. There is also a noticeable berry flavor. The tomatoes are without a firm core and can actually be eaten whole. Some of those who have tried both Starfighters even say that the VT16 is sweeter. As for me, I would say they are both delicious delicious and juicy, and it's hard to single out any one of them. At the beginning of the review, I mentioned that there were two breeders, so it's time to talk about the second one. Marsha Eisenberg of Florida, USA, is the author of two other great varieties from the Star Wars strain. The first variety I will tell you about is Marsha's Starfighter Beefsteak. Also very tall, the plants have already reached a height of 8 feet 2 inches or 2.5 meters at the beginning of August and kept growing. The fruits are flat round in shape and still the same fantastic color, dark red with anthocyanin shoulders, gathered in large bunches. They look just great. I wonder what other marvelous breeders are capable of in the future. Marsha's Starfighter Beefsteak is a great example of how much can be achieved with your own hands, but even more can be achieved with a shovel and willpower. Years and years of hard work led to the creation of such a beautiful tomato. The fruit proved to be the largest of the Star Wars tomato project varieties and weighed over 10.5 ounces or 300 grams. But of course, beauty is not the only quality for which one can love a tomato. Just as important is what lies inside. And since the movie says never pull sentry duty on an empty stomach, I immediately proceeded to the tasting. The flesh is very colorful, deep red. The taste is just great, sweet berry flavors in harmony with a slight tartness. I definitely like these tomatoes. A very deep tomato taste that is in no way inferior to the appearance of these beauties. It's hard to find the words to express exactly what I experienced during the taste test. So instead of words, I decided to use this short video for a better demonstration of my taste experience with tomatoes of this variety. And another work of art by Marsha Eisenberg is, of course, Marsha's Starfighter Heart. Of all these tomato varieties, this one was the lowest, if one can apply that word here at all. By early August, the plants were 6 feet 3 inches or 1.9 meters tall. Unlike Marsha's Starfighter Beefsteak, Marsha's Starfighter Heart fruits are more elongated and heart-shaped. The color is bright, red-orange with green waves, reminiscent of a stream of red-hot lava. Probably many people sometimes ask themselves, what am I doing here? Why am I in the garden and messing with tomatoes instead of sunbathing on the beach? In a way, the beauty of Marsha's Starfighter Heart gave me the answer to that question. The tomatoes weighed 7 to 10.5 ounces or 200 to 300 grams, which turned out to be more than the heart-shaped Prime or VT16. The tomatoes are dense and a pleasure to cut. Inside are delightful dark red tones. The color is smooth and you can smell the strong tomato flavor. Marsha's Starfighter Heart is a super sweet, amazing taste with a hint of berry, rich, deep, well balanced with a pleasant aftertaste. Sweetness and tartness are literally in cosmic harmony. The taste of absolutely all varieties of the Star Wars series impressed me a lot. They definitely have style, and this is probably one of the most interesting tomato strains I have ever grown. Ross Crowe and Marsha Eisenberg gave the world these stunning varieties and showed just how diverse tomatoes can be. Beauty complemented by amazing flavor. If you already grew Star Wars Tomato Project tomatoes, share your experience in the comments. I'm sure many of you have already grown some of these varieties. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and before I go, the Tomato Universe thanks you for your service. This is the Lucky Garden channel, and see you soon.